Joseph, regular average, playing, carrying on, doing a lot of different things, and didn't show anything special. Sports wasn't really a great thing, but he would always be active in things that were going on in the neighborhood in school until I started taking him to the Massapequa Mall on Friday night where they had a game room. And he just wanted, like most 7, 8 year olds, he just wanted to play. So we'd give him a couple of dollars, wait outside, and he would go in. I really didn't know exactly what he was playing, and he would play games for maybe not even a half hour. The money would be gone, and we would go get ice cream or something, and then we would go home from there. And other than that, his schoolwork was good, and we kept going back on Fridays. He loved to go on Fridays, and as we continued going and he got a little older, and not much, as months and months went by, the money that I gave him started lasting longer and longer. At first, he would be done in a half hour, and then it was like an hour, and then it was like 2 hours, because he started getting very much into Mortal Kombat. That was his game. He'd pull his little box over, stand up on top of it, and play anybody that came, and most of the time won. And so that money, he was putting the quarters down at the time, was lasting longer and longer and longer, because he was not feeding the machine, his competitors were. And he was always pleasant and well-balanced on everything that he did. It wasn't gaming or nothing. He's a great skateboarder, inline skater, loves to play handball, always active. Everything's active with his bike, with his BX bike, and always jumping things, flying over things, and anything exciting. But he was always very, very active. Absolutely. When he was younger, again, going back many years to that Massapequa Mall, when he started, he would stay there till almost 9:30, when at that time the mall would close, the game room would close. And he met a lot of people, both good and bad. So he learned the balance very well. He always maintained himself well, even though at the time people would be getting a little upset with the fact that an 8 or 9 year old was playing better than a 19 or a 20-year-old. A little difficult for a young adult or a teenager to handle. But he handled all those moments very well. There were some people that used to play with their hands covered over the handles and the buttons, so you couldn't see what they were doing. And he would never get upset. He would never say that's not right. He would just find a way around to be the best player that he could be involved at that. And we started meeting people even at that young age. Then there was a place called Funzone on 110 that opened up till midnight. So now the 9:30s left from the mall and over to Funzone we would go, and we would stay there till midnight, and he would play. Met a lot of people, met the owner of the company, met his kids, and the involvement with the gaming. And at that time, even at 12 o'clock, I used to bring him to people's houses after that to continue playing. But the people were always great, never had a problem. A vast age span from him being at that time maybe 11 or 12 to guys being 18, 19, and 20. It was the simplicity of the love of the game that kept everybody on an equal playing field. It didn't make a difference how old you were, who you were, what type of person you were, what your background was, what your nationality was. They were all gamers, and it's never changed. I've been involved with Joseph and a lot of the kids. John is standing over there, who's one of a dear friend, and it's more than my pleasure to know and to watch these guys grow up and be successful at things in their lives, basically as human beings more than anything else. And the gaming community has always, always, always pushed that. No matter what, they have a wonderful camaraderie. They all are there for each other, and their focus is playing and getting better and better and better, and sharing and supporting. And he did that ever since he was, again, young, 8, 9, 10. He met those people that helped him. He was good in school because of the balance that he maintained no matter what he was doing. And again, he was 11 and 12 and 13, and he was hanging out with 20 and 21-year-olds that treated him as an equal, and he kept a very good balance within himself, because of his friends and what he was doing. It was really, really and it's more now than before. It's a great experience. It's a really great ride, and I'm very, very happy for him that he's still riding that. And all of the people that he's met, they're great. Okay, I guess in Joseph's situation, I've always tried to be a supportive parent. Sometimes a little too supportive to the fact that I would sit and help and do the homework, and sometimes I'd wind up doing it more than that I should have, but only because of the fact that he was very good in school and he did well. So when it came time for him playing, even though he was up, because we'd be there during the week at night, and he'd be up till midnight, and his mother would want to kill me. But as long as his grades were up and everything was fine in school, he just continued. He continued because I think he played more at that time, that he played more in the arcades than he did home, because he was that deep into it. The gaming at home, of course, was not as sophisticated as it is today. Like my day, we're still using the little block hockey guys that go back and forth, and pong and all that stuff. But compared to what happened when Joe started and what the conception of video games have gotten to right now, the arcade games were much better playing vehicle for him. And I would let him go all the time, whenever he wanted. And there were days when we would go to the arcade, and we would go to Funzone, because it was open at 10 in the morning, and we'd stay there till midnight. And he would do nothing but play. And his schooling never suffered. He was always, he did take liberties, but if there was an issue during those liberties, it would have been corrected. Again, maybe half of it would have been from me helping him out or doing a question or two that he left out, but I felt that what he was doing and what he was involved in was more than worth it, because it was a lot more than gaming. Even when he was younger, it was a lot more than gaming. It was the friendships that he made. Like I said, he was even in one of the commercials for Funzone because of the type of young man that he was growing up to be, not just because of the type of player that he was. And all of that came about from the people that he met, because that was his mainstream of friends and his mainstream of activities with the gamers. And they as he got older and they got older, they got better and better, and the camaraderie got stronger and stronger, and his ability to learn more and do more and really, really love what he was doing just grew and grew and grew from himself, as well as the support of not only the people that he was with, the support of people that would go and watch him play. I mean, there's nothing better than doing something well and having people enjoy what you do. And he cherished that. He enjoyed that. And it did well with him in school, where he was an advocate for everything, for people being individuals, for people getting along with everyone. I mean, I sound like an evangelist now, but I don't mean to. But that's how he was, and that's how he is. I mean, the notofural thing that he got, live honorably, he's been doing that since he's 7 years old, for as long as I can remember. Appreciating what the guy did next to him, even if he lost, and even when he would play, and somebody would come and beat him and make fun of him because he was younger, he would stand in line, put that quarter back on the machine, and wait for his turn to get up and to beat him again. Never went home and said, this person that, even as he got older, 12 and 13 and 14, where he could have been more expressive and more negative to people around him. It was always positive. And because the large percentage of the true gamers were always supportive and always honorable to each other and to the games that they played. Actually, no, he would always make fun of me and say, you want to find my dad? He's by Tetris. Just go over there, and that's it. And I have a very difficult time with multiple situations going on at the same time. And when Street Fighter started getting really complicated with guys flying and stuff, I lost it. I've played the earlier ones, and I know and I appreciate the difficulty of what he does. I've stood behind him and I've watched him play everything, and I watch the hands and I watch the people, and I know how much it takes to be perfectly on the money when the stick and the button has to be done at the precise time, at the precise angle, and that fraction of a second. He once was playing a gentleman one time that wanted to play him, an older gentleman, and I said, don't do it. He'll beat you 3 out of 3. And he said, oh, no. And I said, let me explain to you why. His brain is pure game. He's 12, 13 years old. He doesn't have bills in his mind. He doesn't have girlfriends on his mind. All he wants to do is play. And that fraction of a second is all you need between winning and losing. And Joseph has always maintained himself to try to be the best he could by being that way. And as though I do not play or only play them minimally, I've always watched and learned from him. I've asked him questions on what he does, on how his moves were. I've read articles on it. I've tried myself, but I am absolutely not even close to even being able to get myself through 2 rounds. But I enjoy watching Joseph and the other people in the gaming community. I enjoy watching them play no matter how it is, because again, I appreciate the difficulty that it takes to not only play it on a common basis, but to play it at the level that these guys do, which is marvelous. It's like being, to Joseph, I think, and to the gamers, I think, to me, I was an art major in school. I think that's what I see. I see the gamers. I see the guys like Joseph, the guys like John, guys like Justin and all those guys. They are basically, in my eyes, and that's why I've always enjoyed it, they are all artists. It's what they do. They create movement. They create situations. They create blocking. And it's done with knowledge and with compassion and with love for what they do. To me, it's like watching somebody paint something or draw something. It's artistic to me, and I think that within them all, they all have that artistry, and that's what I enjoy out of watching. They put all those pieces together, and they make it wonderful.